Welcome, Pisces. Thank you for joining me today. I do hope you enjoy this reading. It's a general reading. Please take what works for you. It may also apply to someone who is close to you at this time. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. So in your first house, we have Earth element. Your first house is everything to do with the self, yourself, your appearance, how you project yourself to others. So those are your characteristics and your personality. It's also your vitality, basically your persona that you present to other people, how they perceive you. It's also your physical body and your own personal interests, self-oriented interests, and your sense of independence and just how you are, how you make your way in the world. So with the earth element stability coming in for you, this indicates that you could very well be meeting quite powerful people at this time, or making very good connections at any rate, that make a big difference in your life. So just keep a lookout for that and work on those contacts to keep them close to, they're going to come in handy at some point. This card also indicates that you need to be feeling grounded and practical at this time. It's time to be methodical and to be organized with whatever it is that you're doing, how you're projecting yourself. You need to come across like that as well, as being organized and a practical person and having your feet on the ground. You also possibly need to take your time, no rushing. So take action in a measured way, whether this is for your particular gym routine or whether, how you're interacting with others. It's entirely up to you. You also may have to let go of some fears, perhaps release some attitudes and blocks that have been holding you back, because this is all about how you're going to come across to others. So, with this coming in, you may be in a little bit of a spotlight, and now you've got to put your best foot forward. So, all of those aspects are going to come in for you to help you achieve that. It's about having a plan and going about your daily life in a structured way. Also, with the earth element, any time spent in nature, around, even if it's wild animals, in areas where there are animals going into the wild, or just nature trips are going to be very helpful for you, because that'll ground you and boost your energies as well. Then in the second house, you have Saturn return age. Your second house is everything to do with your money, your income that's coming in. It's also what you own, your possessions, and it's your sort of material and emotional resources. It's your sense of self-worth and your sense of values, your value systems. So it's also the house of property, real estate, that sort of thing. So now with this card coming in, it actually is related to your 8th house, which is also your money house. So you have Saturn in both houses. So this is, with this particular card, this is a return. So this indicates gaining wisdom through experience. So wisdom through experience, that's what you're aiming for. It's situations or factors coming around again. There's some sort of correction or rebuilding after a purge, or it's releasing what is not working, or something that has crumbled and now you've got to start again. So something is seen for what it is. It may have looked great the first time around, but the second time you look at it, it's not looking that great, or it's not as what it seems, or it's not what you imagined it to be. This is a reality card. It's a face it card. You've got to face it and build something better. It's not a fast-moving energy. It's slow progress. There are no shortcuts with this. So whatever you're going to build will be stronger, but it must have a very strong structure and foundation. You may also just be feeling older in general, because as I said, it's wisdom through experience. So whatever age you are, it's immaterial, but you may just be feeling older, feeling like you've gained wisdom, or you've just gained experience and now you need to apply it. As I said, this is indicated in your 8th house as well. And if you want a time aspect for this, then December, January is appropriate. Just want to let my cat out 1 moment. Sorry for interruption. Okay, so in the 3rd house we have water element sensing. So you're a water sign, so this is going to feel, pretty much on point for you. But the 3rd house has everything to do with your communication, and it's how you learn as well. It's your how you communicate in all ways, whether that's written, verbal, body language, any form of communication. It also covers your neighbors. It could also be your siblings, aunts and uncles, cousins, just relatives like that. And it's also the house of short journeys. It also covers documents and contracts of all kinds. So with this water element sensing coming in, basically what it's asking you to do is just follow your intuition, which will already be front and center for you. So it's just a case of just following that, sticking to that. Just move with the current, and if any obstacles come up, just flow around them. It's almost following the path of least resistance really at this time. So just move with the current and follow your feelings. It's also, because it's a communication house, this is about taking some time to examine your feelings, and also gathering energy and resources, because you're going to have to put those feelings at some point into words. So it's your expression, and you may have to put in some, it's about being compassionate and understanding, but you may also have to put some boundaries in as well. So you may just need to, as I said, withdraw and spend some time alone and just gather what you want to say, think about what you want to say, perhaps even if you want to put it down on paper, but just spend some time alone to gather that and just come to your centered self, and so that you can express what you need to say, what you need to write in any case, and so that you can put it across in such a way that it's well received. So if you just avoid drama, if there is drama going on, just withdraw, gather yourself, and then come out to express whatever it is that needs to be expressed. It's also the card, it also brings in the arts in all kinds of ways. So whether you're working with that or you're just involved in somehow, some sort of field to do with the arts. This is about imagination. It's very good for writing, poetry, and also for music. Any form of communication is highly indicated with this card. It's highlighted, so it's a really, really good time to be putting expressing yourself in those ways or in words to others, whether that's your, as I said, your siblings or your neighbors or some relatives that are around you, or just to the wider public in general. Then in the 4th house we have Black Moon Lilith Mystery. So your 4th house has everything to do with your home, your actual physical structure, but also your lifestyle, and the people in your home, the atmosphere in your home. And it's also to do with your roots, your foundation. It's a bit like your family tree, where you have come from, and your ethnic identity and so on. So with this card coming in, it's basically, what it's saying is that you don't have all the facts. Something may feel a bit off. Something's not right. You may also just be waiting for something to happen. So until you have all the facts, you may just have to wait a bit. But you may also have to stand your ground in some form or some way. And it's also about trying to find a healthy outlet and not harbor negative emotions, or allow them to fester in some way. Don't bury any of that. Rather, find a healthy outlet for that. It's also, there may be some control issues coming up. This is the darker feminine side, so there may be some feelings of like envy or bitterness or revenge or a bit of bitchiness even, or just rebellious behavior. Or it could just be you feeling that way about issues that are going on around your home or around your identity, as it were, and just dealing with them, and don't let those emotions kind of go inward, because that won't be healthy and it will kind of poison the home environment as well. So it could just be, as I said, something to do with your physical structure in your home. You may just have to stand your ground on certain things, and go it alone if need be about something that you want to do or something that you're wanting to implement there. Then in the 5th house we have Grand Trine blessings. So the 5th house is to do with your children or children that you are associated with. It's also the house of creativity in all its forms. And it's also the house of love affairs, and it's the house of having fun, all forms of recreational activities, and it can be sports as well. So with Grand Trine blessings coming in there, you can expect some kind of easy flow, or some sort of block is lifted. Perhaps you've been grappling with something and that gets lifted away now, to bring in some harmony. It also could be about being in the right place at the right time, some sort of lucky break. Lucky break actually comes up several times in your chart, so this is highly indicated for you at this time. There could also be some sort of opportunity or improvement, and all of these things can apply to your children or the children you're associated with, or it could be a relationship with your children, or your children are going through a period where they are having blocks lifted and they are, experiencing some sort of luck and being in the right place, right time. As I say, it could be both of you or your relationship with them, or them going through that. If it's to do with a partner, a love affair coming in for you, then that is about, this will bring in a very supportive and special partner. As long as you both put in nurturing from both sides, then you can expect a very good long-term relationship to evolve out of this. You could also be, if it's a creative project that you're wanting to undertake, or some kind of activity or sports activity, or your children may be doing that. If you're wanting to obtain some sort of funding or finance for that, it's a good time to be asking for that now. It could also be that that you just need to keep going with whatever it is you're doing, because you will be experiencing a lighter period. You will be having some blessings in some way, but it's not a time to become complacent or to coast. You still need to be applying effort and doing your, being diligent and so on. But you will find that there will be some flow and some harmony within those areas in your life. Then in the 6th house, we have Mercury, mind. The 6th house is everything to do with your work projects, your workplace, your work colleagues. It's also mastery of your craft, so whatever that may be. And it's also the house of health and diet, and the house of pets. So with this card coming in, what it's asking you to do is walk your talk, basically. You're going to have to bring in some humor and some quick thinking. There's speed associated with this sign, with this planet. So if you've got something on the go, a project or something that you're busy working on, it may develop quite quickly. This is also about you being inspiring as well to others that you may be working with, or if you're trying to pitch for a contract or something, it's about you walking your talk but also being inspiring. You want to inspire reaction, you want to inspire enthusiasm for what it is that you're doing. And it's also, you may be required to be spontaneous in some way, or at least flexible and versatile with what it is you're doing. You may also have to talk yourself into something or out of something. All communication is important with this card. You may also be learning new technology or mastering some kind of new electronic system or just an electronic gadget. But all technology and electronics are indicated with this, even cars actually, transport. So it's an upgrade from what you have been doing. Travel may be indicated with this as well, possibly for work or for some other reason. Just avoid glibness and getting into arguments with others, because that can also come in with this card. Beware of gossip and scandals. Don't get involved, because it can backfire on you really badly. For your health and your diet, all the body parts that are ruled by this are the brain, the eyes, and also your voice is indicated, and also your nervous system, and your extremities, so your fingers and your toes and so on. So that might come up for you. You might just be straining your nerves with too much going on, a lot happening, and you kind of got a project to meet, and you're working hard, and doing a lot of talking and so on. You may have a problem with your voice, but all of these things all come down to the nervous system as well, and the brain. So also with speed and moving quickly around things, just be careful that you don't move too quickly in haste and damage a finger or a trip or something like that. So that might come up for you in this house. In the 7th house, we have Capricorn IUs. So now the 7th house is your committed partnership. So this is your love partner, or your committed business partner. It can also be another very close personal one-on-one relationship. This is always one-on-one. So now with Capricorn IUs coming in there, you may need to be bringing certain aspects into this committed partnership. As I said, it might have evolved out of a love affair, and now it's becoming a much deeper commitment. Or it could be an existing partnership that is now requiring certain aspects to be brought in. So this is about sticking to your goals, so your joint goals, or perhaps you have goals with regards to the relationship. It's about being resourceful. It's about being ambitious as well, but with that comes practicality, responsibility, and wisdom. So if this is a deeper commitment, it's going to become deeper. So it's going to go to new levels, or it's going to become more serious. You may also be involved with somebody, whether it's a business partner or a love partner or a close personal relationship, where this person is older than you or has a higher status than you. So therefore, they're almost like a teacher, or they're showing you the ropes in some way. This person may have, either you have a more serious nature, or they may have a more serious nature. So because you're a Pisces, I'm assuming that maybe they have more Capricornian type qualities. But the person could be very supportive of you. This card also indicates steady progress. So if you're in a deeper relationship and you want to keep going and go to the next level, there will be steady progress there. This house also covers the lower courts as well. So if you are waiting for some kind of outcome from there, you can expect a fair and just outcome, whatever that is for you. Then in the 8th house, we have Saturn Truth. So as I said before, your 2nd house is your money and your income coming in and your possessions and so on. The 8th house is your bigger finance. So this is your inheritances or legacies, but it's your investments, your insurances. It's your the bigger financial systems, or whatever you've got in place. It's also banking and accounting. It's tax as well. That all comes in. It's also dealing with other people's money. Being involved in that in some way, whether that's a profession or you've just been involved, perhaps you're a treasurer or something for other people's money. So it's also the deeper material and emotional resources in committed partnerships. So whether that's a love partnership or a business partnership. So now with this coming in, the Saturn is basically saying that truth needs to be faced. You may have some challenge to overcome as well. So a truth needs to be faced. There could be some rebuilding or restructuring going on. You need to build a solid foundation in order to make this situation work. If the foundation is not solid, then Saturn will simply tear it down and you'll have to start again. So make sure that all those building blocks that you're putting into place are well and truly thought out and carefully placed. You may need to look at your wants and needs and discern the difference between the two. Saturn is all about your needs and not necessarily about your wants. So there may be streamlining and a bit of austerity going on. You may have to cut back or cut down. But once you do that, once you go through that period, then you get control and you will actually achieve success. But you have to maintain that. You have to build proper foundation, but you also have to be careful about what you're doing. There's no impulsiveness here, no shortcuts. There's slow progress. Also, this is about the rules. Saturn is about the rules, so you need to follow the rules in all cases. Yeah, just be careful of penalties as well. I'm thinking particularly to do with tax and so on. So make sure that all of those details are in order and that you have everything in order. This card is about patience as well. You may also be thinking about retirement or providing for old age, or just thinking about those issues, the future issues, which is kind of relevant with Saturn as well coming in, because it's all about gaining wisdom. You may also just be feeling a little bit pressed for time, almost like, well, where am I now? I haven't achieved what I set out to do, or this hasn't worked out, or this hasn't panned out. I'm running out of time now to get this sorted out. The best thing to do is to just, if you need help, get help. But to get all these situations nailed down. But it's a slow, steady progress, and it requires patience, and it's building properly, building a solid foundation. So achieve that in whatever way. If you need help, then fine. But it's also about your mindset. You must be prudent now with what you are doing in order to harvest later. Then in the ninth house, we have Chiron healing. So with the ninth house, this is the house of international travel. It's the house of the world. The world comes to you, or you go to the world in some way. So it may be access to foreign people or foreign concepts or foreign cultures, or going online and accessing or talking to people from those places. So if you've got a business, it may go online, things like that. But it's an international focus. It's also about adventure. And it's also about religion, belief systems, philosophy. It's also further education and study. So that's basically university or adult education. It's also the house of law, and it's the house of public relations and promotions, promotional work. It's also the house of teaching. So if you're a teacher, then this is indicated. It's also the higher courts, so the law. So with this, and it's also your in-laws as well, if you've got in-laws. So with this coming in, Chiron healing, this basically indicates that some issue or situation in any one of those areas requires deep contemplation and then healing in order to move forward. So this could be issues to do with a physical illness or an injury, or most of it is an emotional wound of some sort, or some kind of dysfunction within any one of those areas. Or it could also be that you are dealing with people that require this kind of contemplation and healing. You may be working with them to lead them through that process. But it's highly indicated that, whatever the situation, whatever it is, requires healing before you can move forward. So, and this is natural therapies, or it could be Western medicine as well. So this could also, if travel is indicated in some way, then this could also be either you needing to solve some kind of health issue or emotional issue before you can travel, or it may be that you are going to travel to go and deal with some kind of issue, whether it's an emotional or physical issue. You could be going to seek healing. Perhaps it's, it could be anything really. It could be going to the mud baths, or it could be going to the healing waters, or to go literally to a clinic for some kind of treatment. or it could be a course in shamanism, or some sort of perhaps a yoga retreat, or some kind of self-healing, or some kind of adventure that you're going on, which is going to bring you, that time and that space for the contemplation, and then through that comes the healing. So it's quite a deep card, actually, so that it can apply in any one of those areas for you. You may even be publishing in this field. You may even be publishing in the natural therapy or the wisdom of healing, to find resolution or to solve dysfunction. There's lots of ways that this can be applied. So just take what applies for you at this time. Then in the 10th house, this is the house of career, the house of ambition. It's the house of your reputation, your fame, and your public status. So it's also the house of authority figures. Now, with the fire element desire coming in there, this is about harnessing your passion. It's about action. It is desire. So whatever you're aiming for, that ambition, that spark, it's also determination. You may also have some sort of wake-up call or epiphany to do with any one of those areas. And it's almost like a new perspective comes to you, some kind of new understanding which now opens a path for you, or clears something for you in order to bring about a new start. But in any case, this is a new start. It's that get up and go. As I said, it could be a wake-up call of some kind. You may also be required to be just honest and assertive with some issue. You may have to get up front with somebody, get it all clear so that there's no mystery between you. Just keep a check on details, any details. Don't be in such a rush to move forward that you let those details go. You must keep a handle on everything and stay grounded as much as possible. Just be careful of bossy people, or those who try to take credit for your work, or for those that give advice to you and they haven't really fully understood your situation or what's going on. So just be aware of that as well. That may come in. But this is essentially, it's a get going card. Go after what you want, but you may have to clear a path for yourself in order to do that. Then in the 11th house we have Sagittarius IC. So the 11th house is everything to do with your friendships, your social groups. It's also your networks, your associations, your societies. It could be a club of some sort or a sports group. It's also your personal hopes and wishes, your hobbies and interests, your visions and dreams for the future, your ideals almost. It's also global consciousness, and it's social reforms, also sort of following global trends and currents and so on. Now with Sagittarius, I see in there, in any one of those areas, either you or possibly even a friend, but it's about getting a lucky break of some kind. And it's also about obtaining freedom in some way, or going on an adventure, or having an adventurous time. It could be in a group or with a friend, or you could have a Sagittarian type friend coming in who embodies all these qualities. But it's also about favorable conditions for you. It's also about you, or possibly even a friend, being very candid and truthful about something, which Sagittarians sometimes can put their foot in their mouth. They just say what's on their mind, and it can sometimes offend others. So just be aware of that. But it is about being honest and truthful. So you may have to be like that in a friendship or in a group situation that you're part of, or just be honest with yourself about what your ideals and your vision is for the future. It's also about being broad-minded. So it might be to do with some of the people that you are associated with in any kind of group situation. And also you may be coming into contact, as I said, with global consciousness or social reforms, and you're mixing with people of all different kinds of backgrounds. So it's about being broad-minded. Also religion and philosophy comes in here. So you may be just reading up or joining groups which have this as a focus. But it's also about having fun and being outdoors, and you may just be having an adventure with a friend at this time as well, which is a good thing. Then in the 12th house, you have part of fortune increase. So the 12th house is the house of your unconscious self, your unconscious drives and motivations. It's also the house of your spiritual life. It's about meditation, mysticism, healing comes in again. And it's also about sort of solitude or retreat and withdrawal, which came up again, that was in your 9th house. So you may just periodically, and it came up before as well, you may just periodically just need to withdraw and take some time out to just reorientate yourself. And it's also the house of escapism of all kinds, and it's also the your experiences within all types of institutions. So whether this is hospitals, government institutions, libraries, universities, banks, anything like that. It's also the house of karmic inheritance. So now with part of fortune increase coming, this is a very positive card. This is about being able to, your hidden talents and abilities may be rising to the surface now. So they're coming up from the unconscious, they're coming up. And it's the stirring of the waters and they emerge. So you may be noticing that it's an increase of that. So they were always there, whether you acknowledge them or not, but you have the chance to bring them up now into the light and actually use those abilities for the greater good. It's a destiny and a fate card as well, so something may trigger that. It's also about resolution, so you may be able to suddenly solve something. It's also about finding healing, or an increase in healing, some kind of, as I said, you sort of almost solving something. It's also about achievement in some way, and recognition. It's also about learning. So you may be learning something in an institution of some kind, or you may be learning about your spiritual life or mysticism or healing, or going on a retreat, and there's learning to be had there. It may just be deep understanding of yourself, and suddenly something becomes clear for you. It also may be that you're obtaining respect in some way for something that you've achieved or some progress that you've made. You could also be presented with an opportunity as well, however that plays out for you. You could be successful in something, whether that's something you're learning or something that you are overcoming. And it's also about finding balance. So very, very positive card, and it really does cover the deeper self and everything going on in that as well. So it's a very, very positive influence. Okay, Pisces, I hope you enjoyed that, and have a wonderful month, and I will see you next time. Take care.